And welcome back to the North American Challenger Series. Tonight's final game is about to start. But before we do that, the team comps from last night are going to be on your screen when NME eSports faced TSM Darkness. NME on the blue side, you can see just a nice, really good sieging composition with the Janna Tristana, but a lot of playmaking at the same time with the Flares, Hecarim, the Trashy follow-up, the Inox follow-up on Ahri.
And then on TSM Darkness, you can see a lot of dive here, a lot of go forward with the Annie, the LeBlanc, the Fizz, Assassin Jungle here for Inori, who's coming in this week for this team. They think he's going to be the one who levels them up. But also, Teaser, once again, on the Callista. So this comp, very well rounded in damage. We're going to see how this game played out.
Well, first off, we're seeing that Fizz in action. Flares, he's going to try to stop a teleport. And then it gets crazy. He thinks he can get out, but really good reactions. And that's going to be the lockup that allows Flares to get knocked down. Big ol' Ron really on top of his game for that one. It's going to be first blood.
Big ol' Ron, that means he wasn't looking at his TP location. He was looking at himself. And then Flares like clippity-clop with... Oh, nope.
Yeah, I don't know why you ever target the support of a Callista, but really, really good ult by Teaser. Problem is, it's just not enough. NME eSports finding a really good fight. Big ol' Ron is not here. It is a full 5-on-4. NME eSports getting a bunch of kills before the battle really starts.
I don't know why you ever target the support of a Callista, but this is the time where it does work.
Yeah,
so
the ult's down. They had actually just burned it, so they quickly blow up Invisible. He doesn't get to do much of anything, and the tower's theirs.
Enemy just slowly but surely chipping away at them.
It's worth pointing out the game was very, very close up until this point, but TSD choosing to chase in a 4v5, and Flare is just gigantic. Keep picking up kills with the Triforce Power Spike.
Waiting for those cooldowns, skittering around the fight, and then jumps right back in, able to use his Ignite, drop priority targets, and then they turn it around and they just run away with the game at that point. Otter, 4-1-1, is able to duel the Assassin Fizz, who gets knocked away and then doesn't get a whole lot of auto attacks off.
Yeah, that's the really thankful thing. I mean, Fizz very auto attack focused on the AD build, the Triforce, Blade of the Ruin King Devourer build, and then one more fight, Big ol' Ron on the front line, but he's just not tanky enough. They break him down a bit. Good little reset from Body Drop, and then
here's the TP.
Time for cleanup. Down goes one.
There was a Callista there.
There was. But very, very big Hecarim. Got a Zephyr, of all things, just to add more damage to the output. Sure, why not? But overall, just Inox 5-0 and 8, 6-0 and 8. Why the heck not? Just absolutely exploding the team. 36-minute win. The first 25 were close, but NME eSports just found way better team fights.
Yeah, Inox once again having an amazing game. His Challenger debut in the mid lane has been nothing but stellar from start to finish. Even the game they lost, he still had a good scoreline. And he's just continually stepping up and impressing in this role.
Yeah, you know, gets somewhere between 0 and 3 deaths a game, but his kills are always pretty high, his assists are always pretty high.
He's never gone over 3 deaths a game.
Yeah, done very well for himself. Flares, though, kept up in farm on a top laner. That's a little bit rare typically, but really good job. I think he was really one of the big carry forces on Hecarim. But I also really need to talk about Arc second. Yeah. That mid laner for TSM Darkness, I feel like he's an elo hell here in the Challenger Series. His team is 1-6. Look at that KDA. I dare you to go 1-6 and have that kind of KDA. He's been so darn good, but it's just they can't pull out the wins.
Yeah, he is got a 6.0 KDA, and then his team's KDA without him is 1.88.
Yeah.
So if you take him out of the equation, everybody else has around a 1.6 to a 2.2 KDA.
Yeah.
He does phenomenally well with, like, when they lose, and they've lost a lot, they've lost 6 games, it's never his fault. He's never the one feeding or giving it up. He's basically like, I'm 4-1-4 mid lane against a 6-0-8, and he's not the reason that Ahri became 6-0-8.
Yeah, and it's really unfortunate seeing how this sort of lineup is performing, because TSM Darkness, if they could play like TSM Prime, they'd do fine, right? They've got a guy who's practically Bjergsen. He even looks the part in the mid lane. Arcsec is routinely amazing. He is routinely amazing. But the problem is they have the wrong personalities on the team, and that's actually really kind of, to me, a very big issue. Big ol' Ron is actually doing pretty well being safe. He's playing Gnar, Maokai, Sion, just being a tank. He's trying to beat Dyrus, and he's close. Like, Big ol' Ron is more or less holding the fort. And Inori now in the jungle, maybe it will work out. Maybe he can camp the mid lane and get the guy set up. But the problem to me is actually Teaser. Teaser is a player who tries so hard to bully his opponents out. And he's a good player. He is good, but the problem is he sacrifices farm for harass. He ends up overextending and getting ganked. He ends up dying a lot in team fights. And if the bot lane could just stay afloat from TSM Darkness, they could just try to snowball mid, let ArcSecond carry the game, and play off him. And it requires a mentality shift. And I know it's hard to do, to be like, I'm an aggressive player, and like find a way to turn that down, but that's what Indivisible and Teaser need to do.
It's so hard. And with Inori, who's also a very aggressive player in the jungle, likes the Rengar, likes to make plays, likes the Fizz, we saw it earlier. He is somebody that, you know, will take over the game with aggression, and alongside ArcSecond, who does have good score lines, Teaser just needs to calm it down a little bit. He needs to be able to take a backseat. There's that saying, like, sometimes you need to just allow yourself to be carried. Too many carries on a team is actually a bad thing. Unless you're OMG. Yes. If you're the second best team in China, then sometimes it works for you. But that is, to be fair, that is a hard style to play, and that's fair, right? But there's only so much gold. And you're right. There is only so much gold, right? They actually their jungler has to be a lot more passive and give up that farm to Uzi and everyone else. But yeah, you're right. I think there are a lot of ways to play League of Legends, and you can play a 3 carry type composition. Again, we see OMG do it, but yeah, TSM Darkness, they need to find a way to play passively everywhere else and try to find a way to key off ArcSecond. And if they can give him a big, awesome assassin, if they can get, like, he started out playing a bunch of Xerath, and now he's been playing LeBlanc. He had a Cassin game earlier on. He went 5-1-1 when he played against CLG Black. Like, those are the kind of games where I think that's the right kind of play for him. These Cassidins, these LeBlancs, maybe like a Talon Zed, like some of these bigger assassins, so they can actually go and take over a game and make the more individual plays. That's the kind of things I want to see TSM Darkness do. Yeah, but we need to swap over to NME because we haven't really talked about them as much. They are the team to beat right now, number 1, 6-1, and you can see on your screen right there, Shorter Ace is actually filling in for NME right now. Trashy has to go back to Europe and deal with his visa. He'll be out for a week, possibly a little more, but depending on that, Shorter Ace is in for him, which I think is a great sub. Yeah, he's definitely a very good player. We saw him back on the old Final 5, way back when they were in the expansion tournament. It was a very big, bright spot for that team. You're going to see him now in NME eSports looking pretty good. Shout out to his jungle Lulu that he played one time. Wasn't very good. Doesn't matter. But he played. He watched the spotlight, shouted me out in person about that one. I was like, yeah, no, it's actually pretty good. So, there's always a chance here. But yeah, I want to see how well NME eSports then can do, because they come in as a scary team. Smoothie talked about it. We talk about it like every single week. NME eSports is the team to beat. Shorter Ace better live up to the hype now. Now they're going to be kind of for sure in playoffs, and they better hope this team can still look good as they move on. Of course, Inox has been absolutely amazing every single time. He's got a LeBlanc for himself. Right now, just a Janna for body drop. Here's the question, though. Has Inox been amazing off of Trashy setting him up early? I think it's mostly been Inox being awesome. So, I mean, Trashy helps, to be fair. Trashy does help a whole lot. But, you could put me in the mid lane and give me Trashy, I would find a way to throw the game. Right? I would find a way to feed after that first blood he gave me. So I believe Inox is just a better player. Inox is really good. Yeah. But I'm just saying, is it going to make a big difference that Shorter Ace is by his side? Definitely can. Instead. Definitely can. I mean, you expect there to be some kind of hit, but I do believe in the rest of NME eSports and how well they do. But, of course, it's still a question to be answered. Of course, Maokai comes in for Big Ol' Ron, give him a nice big safe top laner, make him play like Dyrus. That's fine. Go give Inox an assassin, make him continue to be awesome, who has been just crushing every single game over and over. Why fix what hasn't been broken? Inox, go play an assassin, go be awesome. Hasn't been broken. LeBlanc is... No, I'm just kidding. Oh, gosh. No, right now, they pick up the LeBlanc, and LeBlanc is something that does really well in the mid lane. There aren't very many counters to it. Morgana's really good against it, but Morgana's banned away. So body drop gets the Janna for himself very early on. I like the pickup of when you ban one champion that somebody's played every game. Body drop has only played Morgana except for against TSD because they banned the Morgana, and he picks up the Janna very early on in the champion rotation so that he gets it and he gets something for himself. All right, so Inori, his second Fizz here, ArcSecond on Graves. Just I guess I don't want to classify Fizz as a team fighter, really. I was going to say, Maokai Graves, team fight comp, but that's not really the case here. It's like a skirmisher, Yeah, you definitely have some good skirmish power here, and especially because you're using fairly low ult cooldowns when you talk about champions like Maokai. Your sort of fight every 40 seconds power is actually quite good here, where you can just kind of keep bursting out, keep doing fun things with your lower-ish cooldowns. We don't see a lot of jungle Fizz, though, in competitive, so I still have to kind of
sort of watch more and mature on like what that's going to really bring to a team. But I expected still a lot of pressure early on. 2 more champs come in for NME eSports, and it's going to be Lee Sin and Kalista. So Otter getting that one. Picks actually into a bad AD carry matchup, but with Janna, it helps a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. It allows him to auto-attack trade and get that little extra AD for the multiplication on Ren. So he's in a good spot with that champion pick, even though, like you said, bad matchup. But there's still a lot of things. Indivisible could go for an Annie. They could get the pick.
Yeah.
They can go for the engage there. Like I think that would be the pickup here for the support. The thing here, though, for me is when I was looking at the bans, jungle bans here, like Nidalee, Rengar, Rek'Sai off the table, 2 bans from NME thrown at Inori. So Nori's kind of already worth his salt on the roster if he's drawing bans in champion select. But that's the thing is TSD don't really have a whole lot of champions that it frees up for them that are like signature champions that they want to jump on.
Yeah.
It's nothing that's been like, oh, TSD hasn't had a threatening performance yet, so what do you ban against them? You ban probably one of their strongest facilitators, so...
Yeah, if you're not afraid of anything they play, the bans are kind of going to be whatever. So whatever, look at Lysandra gone, you know, 5.4 or whatever, sure. Who cares? Inori, though, getting on that Fizz, and it will finally be Zed for Arc second. First time we are seeing him play that champion. It's his first physical damage champion here in the mid lane, but I like him playing once again on Assassins. His LeBlanc game was 4-1-4. His Cassidy game was 5-1-1. He's had a very good set of performances on these Assassin champions, so maybe Zed can do it. Also, again, you talked about Annie. Annie Graves, great in this bottom lane matchup as well. TSM Darkness, we'll have to see what their top lane counterpart is from Flares, but I like their team comp here. Their lane matchups are very good, and they can kind of continue that forward and team fight quite well.
And then it becomes a lot about what the junglers can do to upset those lane matchups. Yeah. And we were talking about Arc second, talked about Inox. He has not died more than 3 times a game, and they're 6-1.
Yeah.
You look over Arc second, he has not died more than 3 times a game, and he's lost 6 times.
That's true.
He's very impressive at playing it behind, or playing from behind. He's only died 3 times, 1 time.
He died twice,
yes,
and then everything's been 1 or 0 otherwise.
He has 10 deaths overall.
Yeah. Pretty good. 1 + 2 + 1 + 3 + 2 + 1. You do the math. I don't really care. But either way, pretty darn nice. A couple of zeros in there. So the team comps are in. It is Hecarim in the top lane. So the Death Pony for Flares.
Well, he's been sitting on those summoner spells the entire championship. Yeah. Like, he had a really good Hecarim game. This is a very crazy, like, pick, run at you comp every now and then. But it has disengage. It has things that are going to help them out with, like, sustained team fights. Yeah.
It's just generally fairly bursty, really. Yeah. And with Hecarim being able to home guard TPN, we're seeing pretty much all of them rush Merc Treads or Ninja Tabby by the home guard, practically first item, and then just trying to go for the flank plays. And Flares so far has done a pretty good job of doing that, so really can't complain to get ourselves into the game. The question is then, can the hardcore diving sort of team fight of NME eSports work, or TSM Darkness with a Zed and a Fizz, so much individual playmaking as well. Like, they got to start climbing up in the rankings somehow. Why not start here?
Yeah. It's a big road up. It's the top of the table versus the bottom here.
Yeah.
Right? First place versus 6th place. And TSD, at this point, cannot clinch a playoff spot, I believe. No.
TSM Darkness with only 1 win. And, well, no, they do have multiple games to go. They could 3-way tie with CLG Black in Final 5. As actually a quick fix what we said earlier, we said CLG Black was out of the playoffs. They're only 2 games behind Final 5. And those teams are 1-1. TSM Darkness could win here, win their 2 matches next week, also improve to 4 wins. Actually, there is this weird possibility of a 3-way tie in the bottom of the table. So some of that can still happen. TSM Darkness have the slimmest of chances, but just maybe. And overall, as we've been seeing champions picked up throughout the Challenger Series, there have been some very interesting ones this season. On lolesports.com, there's actually an article about that right now.
Yeah, under latest news, the feature story, Spiders and Laser Beams, details the increasing popularity of Elise and Victor in competitive play. One was actually banned. And if you missed any of those games from those champions, you can check those out on our spoiler-free Vods page, also on lolesports.com.
But of course, right now, we're in the live broadcast, so you wait on that one. You stay here for now, but afterwards, you know, just lolesports.com Vods.
Click with your mouse wheel on it, and then just set it off to the side. You can come back to it later.
Immediately after the game and after the broadcast, once you're done seeing our pretty faces, you can see more in the other games from the past, in case you miss us. And of course you do. But don't worry. Game's coming up here in a second.
Where are you going? Why are you going so far away?
Why are you going away? No, we're gone! Oh, God! What? I don't look like Zed. That's weird.
If you put a helmet on.
And had shurikens on my back.
Yeah, striking resemblance.
Sure.
Hey, Zed could have your beard underneath all of his stuff.
Speaking of which, I have the only beard in the LCS.
This is truly
now.
the darkest time.
So,
Rivington Bislin IV made his debut today on PTL.
Best facial hair in the LCS. Hashtag freak win.
I don't know.
Take to Twitter.
I don't know. Kobe's got that 5 o'clock shadow thing that he does, and it looks pretty rugged and good. I don't know. If we're talking about beards, then yeah, because that's like stubble. I don't know if that actually qualifies as a beard.
It doesn't. I win. Back off.
You can't really groom that.
Lee Sin has a nice little, is that a goatee? What, like the thing on the bottom?
Yeah, that's a goatee.
Okay. That's not a beard either. Mostly female lineup, though, for the right-hand side team.
Talking about the relevant things here. Mostly female lineup.
Well, they don't have facial hair. I guess, like, Teaser's Graves, like, he's got a manly mustache, so he's got me beaten, maybe.
Maybe.
Like, I'm going to have the best facial hair in this game.
Maokai's got, like, green eyebrows. His eyebrow game is pretty crazy.
He's also a tree.
And his name is also Maokai.
We're mentioning useful things here in the Challenger broadcast.
Like what?
I mean, like they're like leaves. Like, of course they're green.
Welcome to Game 3 of the day. We have been casting 3 games back to back.
Big ol' Ron in his home environment of the trees. Second.
Killing birds and raptors?
No, he's like around the other trees. He blends in. Actually, is Big ol' Ron even there? I can't tell.
Yeah, he's... Oh, wait.
It's just a really strong breeze. And just one of the trees is blowing back and forth.
Oh, man. He's there.
Violently.
But Shorter Ace is up in the jungle of Inori.
It's like the movie The Happening, where do you think the forest just kills you?
That's a quick start there from Shorter Ace. Steals the blue buff. Now, does Inori know about this?
Looks like the answer might be no. There's zero vision anywhere. Shorter Ace gets some time to kill with a Scuttle Crab. Gets to Spellvamp off it too, so that's happy.
Gets some HPs back. Wonder Kid of Washington on his Lee Sin, his signature champion.
It's true.
He loves to make plays on it, and he's making his Challenger debut in the 2015 season on that champion.
Let's see what we get then. And Nora's going to walk up, and the blue buff is gone! And he keeps walking forward, as though it like goes stealth or something.
Where did it go? And that's where you ping the map crazy and be like, no, go check their blue. But no, they can't give up pressure in this bottom lane.
Body Drop and Otter really... Definitely the strongest bot lane in the Challenger season, just based on their stats here, and they're pushing in Teaser and Indivisible. Cannon missed by Otter. What a scumbag player. And, ooh, nice. Gets the W proc onto Indivisible. Now Annie's very low, but Inori's already top lane. Wants flares.
No
nice knockback. They got the kill. Nicely done.
This is something they weren't doing yesterday, was picking on flares in the top lane. Hecarim has no flash when he has these summoner spells.
Yep.
Doesn't have an escape. He relies solely on his E, and with a Maokai, it is so easy to apply pressure to that Hecarim and pick up kills early.
And the thing is, what was so clever about this was Shorter Ace got the early Scuttle Crab kill. The only possible gank route was to go for the lane gank, and Inori did that exactly right. Got his way in. Flares burns the TP with only a null magic mantle here versus the double Doran's ring, and now 2 wards of Big ol' Ron. I don't know if Shorter Ace can turn this fight around. Turn this lane around, I should say.
It'd be very hard. If he shows up and Nori has the Skirmisher Saber, and if they show up at the same time, it's a big advantage for the Fizz, actually.
Oh, another knockup, though. Body Drop and Otter really wanting this fight. TSM Darkness having a really rough time down here. They're continually triggering the Callista W, which is so much damage coming out, and TSM Darkness is unable to fight back.
Burning through all their potions and just the trading. Otter, we talked to him last week, and he was talking about how he's not really worried about this matchup.
So far, so good.
He said it's going to be GG easy.
Well, to be fair, though, it's largely in the back of Body Drop, who's tanked so much damage from this air quotes counter matchup. He's used all of his potions as well. Arc Second, though, rooted up by Inox, forced to flash. Shorter Ace is here, lands the Q, lands the Ignite. Flashes on out. There's a kill on the board for NME eSports.
Nice pickup there. And Nori looking top, picking on the Hecarim with no flash.
Here's the attempt. Big ol' Ron. When's he going to land the W? First gets the Q. Flare's trying to jump around. Oh, wow. Gets all the way back in towards Inori. Q's back in, but will it be enough? The flash Q will be enough. Inori's 2 kills in. Doing very nicely.
Yep, Inori, they thought he was going to do a whole lot for this team when they picked him up. And it's definitely showing early on that he knows how to apply pressure to the correct lane.
And the big thing is Flares had TP'd in the top lane for the last time, so now it's a very slow walk up. 2 full waves will die to the turret and give Big Ol' Ron a safe recall. But NME eSports realizing Fizz is up there shoving to deny that golden experience. No, they're safe down to the bot side, so 2 kills top lane, 1 kill mid lane, and a dragon for NME eSports.
Here's the thing is it does give Teaser and Indivisible an okay back timing. Right, they get to back, they won't lose too many creeps because so much time is spent by Otter and Body Drop to do the dragon. So now they have to clear this wave, shove it up, and then they get to back. So right now, TSD actually get a lot off that kill. The first dragon, not a huge deal.
And we'll see if it does mean more later on, though when items do finally come in. Double longsword for shorter ace, plus a 6% bonus will give him a bit of extra damage. We'll see if that next gank means anything more. Early defensive pink ward. Actually, it's a nice sort of moderate pink ward. It's a bit defensive. It'll watch topside ganks, but also allows pretty quick roam and gank pressure to come in on that side. The mid lane ward. There's a ward watching for the attempted counter or repeat gank by Inori. So that one in the top lane. We'll see if that happens anymore, though. But I feel like that top lane is so upset already.
Is that the... yeah, that's the first blue buff. It's still there.
Yeah, good point.
Short Race never did his blue.
It couldn't have respawned by now, so... Yeah. Doesn't need to. He just stole Inori's away. And now it's a pretty good time for Inox to get that, now that he's got Fiendish Codex.
Oh, body drop.
Oh, body drop. Stun comes in. Actually misses the Playful Trickster. Will he flash? He does. Flash chase. Inori's going to maybe get the kill, but the exhaust and the summoner heal keep him alive. Inori now taking a lot of damage. Otter does not want to chase through these guys. Gets a bit more damage.
Inox. He's 6.
But Inori should have the hop back. We're going to see the top lane fight instead, though. Flares and Big Ol' Ron in a battle. Ulti pop by Flares really wants this, but guess what? Shorter Ace comes around the backside, upsets the lane, ward hops in.
He even uses just a ward in his inventory, too. Doesn't even put down his trinket ward either. Just wants that range.
The same range.
Yeah, he just throws it out, and he's like, oh, boom.
Whatever, use the ward instead. YOLO. I'm actually very impressed by how easily those kills were turned back around. Of course, Big Ol' Ron only getting assists. Didn't get, I guess, enough gold to really solidify a gigantic lead there. Great fight. Flares and Shredder Race now tied the kills up 2-2. They're still sitting on first dragon. I gotta say, life ain't bad for NME eSports. That's gotta be so depressing, though. You 2-0'd your lane, and you still get killed in practically the 1v1, though. Like, Shredder Race got the secured kill, but, like, Big Ol' Ron was already losing that fight.
Just the power of Hecarim.
Yeah.
Just stand there and spam Qs on him, use W. And also the fact that Big Ol' Ron went immediately for a Warden's Mail. It's a little weird. It's actually really weird. I think a Glacial Shroud with the cooldown might have been a little bit more dueling power. I know the Warden's Mail slows the attack speed, but like Hecarim doesn't really rely on that.
Unless his goal is Randuin's. But even then, I'd buy the health first. So, wow, Inox.
Oh, shorter ace.
Oh my God.
Kill
secures
stealer.
the kill.
Kill stealer.
Secures the kill, Inox. He got 15 bonus gold for the assist anyway.
If you look at the post-game stats for this, you're going to be like, oh man, Shorter Ace had such a great show. He's stealing these kills with Qs. He's like, whoop, Wonder Kid of Washington, and he's out.
Yep. Well, a couple of jungle steals at the same time. Inox forced to hold mid, just... or Inori, rather.
Oh,
man.
Just imagine Shorter Ace running up, being like, Inox, big fan, throws a Q off to the side. Oh, thanks for the kill. That's it. That's it. Just immediately scumbagging his lane.
You know who else is a big fan? All Karma players.
She doesn't have fans anymore.
Traditional skin, homie.
I said anymore. She used to have them.
Traditional skin still does.
Yeah, it's the old one. It's like...
Okay, so?
It's like calling Trundle's Pillar of Filth still.
That's not the same thing. Inox, though, jumped up by Arc second, though. Dodges the Q. Means he was going to survive. Nice juking by Inox, and good foresight to realize that's what you need to do.
Nice
Jumps back in for the trade. Yeah, not going to be quite enough. Inori sitting in the top lane still. Hecarim Home guard TP, he wants Arc second.
Nope, uses the TP just for a little bit of damage. Short Race is coming around in mid lane. Arc second,
man,
it's gonna be rough hanging around here.
Poor Arc second, yep, in goes Lee Sin. Oh!
We almost flashed into that. That was actually a little off to the left.
Yeah. That was like not even a Mad Life cue. Like you can go to like
yeah.
estimate
like,
the flash or aim at the guy specifically. He put in between the two. That's a field goal cue.
Yeah. I'm just going to cover the option of if he somehow gets out of the kick a little faster and then moves down.
Which can't happen.
I know.
Yeah, that's why I called it. That's why I was making fun of him too.
Yeah.
Welcome to the party.
I hate it here. I'm leaving.
All right, it's final solo
This
cast.
party sucks.
Peace. Flares, though, home guards back to the top lane. Who needs teleport? You can just run real fast. Top lane outer, of course, did go down. So TSM Darkness still within 700 gold here. It's just the fact that Shorter Ace has done such a good job of landing these ganks with his 3-0 scoreline. Crushing fools.
He's got to show up trashy, right? He's got to be there for his laners.
Well, just like steals his spot. Like it's going to be a Betsy and Nick situation where you're like, you know what? Thanks for playing with us, Trashy, but...
Shorter Race, I don't know. He was on an LCS squad for a little bit, subbing in for Winter Fox. And he has to deal with school right now. He's more focused on that and can't really dedicate to a
it was a joke, squad. Aiden.
I'm actually being serious about this, though, because I like Shorter Race.
That's fair.
I feel like the explanation's out there. Like, people wonder why he isn't playing with the team, and it's because he's focusing on his schoolwork.
It's true. All right, now though, NME eSports, along with Shorter Race, doing very well in this game. 500 gold lead, not massive to be fair, but still looking good for them. Arc second has been camped pretty hard, and 0-2-0 is the evidence of that. And Nori,
speaking of camped hard, this is gonna be a 5-man gank bottom.
They're going to walk right through a pink ward, though. Short Race knows they got revealed, and he's like, yeah, that's a pink ward.
Oh, God.
He's up Darkness, get away safely. And Nori's right around here, though.
Arc second.
Lands the ult. Jumps into Shorter Ace. The kick doesn't mean very much, though, and here comes the rest of the team. Flash stun on the 2. Is it going to be enough? NACS turns the kill back into Nori. The flash out from Otter keeps him safe, even ults his support out. A 1-for-0, actually in enemy's favor.
Yeah, and Arc second doesn't have anything to say in that fight. He's off on the side and doesn't get to engage, doesn't get to be a part of it. And they blow the TP, and they just disengage it very cleanly. No capitalization there. And Inori, I think he went after the wrong target, and he went for a hero play. Jumping onto Shorter Ace was not ideal. The fact that they had the Tibbers up and they had that play at their disposal from Indivisible means they should have been forcing something else. Good management of their resources to know that they can still take this, because a lot of ultimates were blown.
Yeah, so good bot lane kill, and TSM Darkness then sits again in that 500 gold disparity zone, where it is a very close game here despite this kill score. You've got to keep in mind TSD not in that horrible of a spot. Flair's stuck top lane without a teleport means, look, he can get some waves, he can knock that turret down maybe, but at least TSM Darkness will get their dragon score on the board here. Inori does not bother to smite, doesn't need it. Big ol' Ron not holding teleport for himself, that means he can't hold this top lane yet, and there might be a big gold swing back for NME eSports.
Big ol' Ron goes straight for the Frozen Heart, even before he picks up boots. He finally just now got boots for himself. So he can get back to the lane a little bit faster. Shorter Ace on this side. He has that timer of that blue. And comes to make a visit to it.
So it is going to be the Blade of the Ruin King build for Otter. Flares does also knock down that top turret after all. So all that effort for Big ol' Ron. It got them bot lane outer, it got them dragon, but Flares traded it back by staying and shoving hard. Level 10 on this Hecarim, actually quite far ahead of Big ol' Ron's Maokai.
Yeah, everybody converging around this blue buff, though, from NME. All on the same page. They know that this is where the objective that they have in their sights.
Gonna give it to Flares. A very scary pony with a pretty blue buff under him. Kind of matches the color scheme of the champion, so can't hit on that too much. Enox wearing his own blue buff. And we can see it is going to be Ruin King again for Inori as well. So, some good tank busting available at a certain point here for that champion, if he does need to knock down Flares in the late game, but otherwise, not a lot of big durable guys to deal with. In fact, both teams pretty squishy right now. Not a lot of bonus health really on anyone. So the burst potential very real on both sides here.
Right now, they're pretty much playing around Flares' teleport timer. He's in a position to possibly make a play if he backs and uses it.
They're just putting farm on him. You can see he's just constantly going to one of the side lanes and pushing it into the outer turret. They expect that he can get out with the ulti, with the E-charge. And he is just the heavy aggressive split pusher. Big Oran, though, almost puts him into turret range. He's not going to ult, though, to trade back. Flare's taking plenty of damage all the same, and takes another turret shot. Flare's got to be a bit careful here.
Oh, he's getting converged on by everybody.
Wow,
all 5 members of NME.
There's no wards here at all for TSM Darkness. In comes Body Drop, flashing away by Big Oran. Takes the fear all the same. But he gets safe bot lane, though, well under control.
Middle push from TSD to respond to this and send 4 people there immediately.
So the question is, who gets more? Bot lane being pushed by 5, mid lane being pushed by 4. NME eSports do finally knock down bot outer, but TSM Darkness still well in position to push down mid tier 2. They've actually got the better handle of all this. This could be another turret getting knocked down, but there's a flank coming from NME eSports.
They'll be able to get this turret and actually get out safely. There's no way. You can't travel that distance in time.
Yeah, and you can see actually they just stop. NME eSports like, yeah, you know what? Rather get Scuttle Crab, no big deal. Once again, a 500 gold difference. Inox now in on a Big Oran. Ulti to try to survive, but Ignite is there. Flares just to secure the kill. Why the heck not? Flares 1, 2, and 1, getting his way with this match now. Bot lane tier 2 now under fire. And by the way, TSM Darkness, it spent time top jungle, but NME eSports stayed bottom. Look what they get for it.
They're actually going to be able to get this turret in response. So NME trading. The fact that they also pick up Big ol' Ron off that play.
Keep in mind, top tier 2 not getting focused, though. This is just constant pressure on all sides of the map. 2 recalls forced, a late one from Flares. He's got Home Guard, though, but it's only Otter and Body Drop to defend. No teleport. In comes the Home Guard Hecarim right now. He's heading across, but it's not going to be in time. TSM Darkness make this push for the turret. They can't quite stay, though. They're just a little bit too afraid of the reinforcements. No local gold, but the turret still falls. 5-4, TSM Darkness. Doing a pretty good job of finding some pushes, but they're losing out on farm when they do this.
Yeah, the way that they're moving around the map on TSM Darkness side, it's actually really, really good to see as a response to what NME are doing. NME's just picking up more kills at this point. The fact that they got Big ol' Ron was really big for them, because if Big ol' Ron had just stayed around, they would have been able to shove the top lane, and then if he would have been able to shove out bottom, it's more waves in their favor. They have more options and more places to go. They get tier 2 top kind of as a consolation prize, but it's worth more, right?
Yeah, it is indeed. And overall, TSM Darkness now only 1 tier 2 turret left to kill. Means they could really push these waves up and create a lot of pressure.
A lot of ward control here from NME. Indivisible, he might check this.
I know most of the wards are gone because we haven't seen TSM Darkness bot side in a while. Teaser dodges the E, but will it be enough? The ulti once again for Hecarim. And the Ignite is going to be enough. Flares picks it up. And NME eSports, once again, the more powerful team on the map. He will respawn in time for Dragon, but not in time to keep their jungle alive. And NME going to take over everything.
They also got 2 of his summoner spells in exchange for just 1.
Yeah. Flares' ult, I don't think it's going to be up quite in time. 83 seconds on that cooldown right now. And it's only 60 on Dragon, so a small window where they will not have Onslaught of Shadows in case these guys need it.
Lack of ward coverage from TSD is really going to start hurting them here in their own jungle, and the fact that NME are bold enough to play up there. We've seen them take the blue buff on the opposite side. We've seen them bush camp in this bottom side.
Yeah.
You really have to cover everything, because you're going to get caught out when you walk up to try and ward those areas because you lost control of them.
Yeah, that's one thing that's really crazy about this game is, unfortunately for TSM Darkness, their sight stone was empty when they were like running around top jungle and all this, so there's just no wards up there for these guys. Whereas NME eSports, after that whole kerfuffle in the mid lane, actually got some wards back down in that bot jungle. So they have some ward control for Dragon, and they can maybe keep it for a
ward
bit.
Control.
Yeah, just no wards here at all. Quick kills on Indivisible and likely Teaser. I don't see how he gets out. Kick, kill, a couple auto attacks, 6 seconds on Dragon. They can stay for maybe another wave pushed in bot lane just to continue the pressure, but Dragon's up when they want it. Red buff's up when they want it. And NME eSports just having a really nice mid game.
Yeah, their early game was a little rough. They were just staying toe-to-toe with TSD. But then this started happening, where they started getting picked off. NME doing a really good job of picking up the stragglers. And like you said, it's very bursty comp. LeBlanc, Hecarim, they want to jump in. They want to just utterly destroy somebody in a second. And now they're doing it. Now they're getting the ward control to do it.
Well, with the bot lane down, they stay for the mid lane instead. TSM Darkness not really able to defend that, and they sent 2 guys to take down Dragon. That was quick as well, but the re-engage comes in. Inox, the target of attention, takes a bit of burst, but he gets the Annie down first anyway, and Big ol' Ron now in danger. Otter forced to flash out, pulls in Janna for some disengage, but it's a 5v4. Flares knocks in Arc second, 0-3-0 on Zed. Not a successful game at all from TSM Darkness's mid laner. Shorter Race will trade back with Inori. No, doesn't have the damage. Another kill picked up. This is a 4-for-nothing, and now mid inhibitor turret under fire.
NME are just grouping up, and with their huge gold advantage on the right people. Inox now 3-0-8, and this Hecarim 5-2-3. They're doing immense work, and they get themselves an inhib 21 minutes into the game. NME are in a fantastic spot to just run away with this game.
Well, Inox certainly did have some help from Shorter Race. 2 kills pretty early on, went at least assist-wise to LeBlanc, but he's cashed in so much off of it. 3-0-8 from there. So far, so good for NME eSports.
A flash distortion from Inox to pick up the kill, and then Big ol' Ron trying to just do something. It's at the part of the game where your impact is very frustrating because you're just getting out damaged, you're getting out locked up as well. And when you're a tanky player and you haven't like gone even in lane, and the split pusher is doing more, applying more pressure, making plays. Oh, he attacked a minion there.
Oh,
he
man.
hit the minion.
He also W'd early before he Q'd in, so I think his W active was down at that point. The percent missing health damage would have helped secure those kills maybe a bit better. But unfortunately for TSM Darkness, they're just falling farther and farther and farther behind now. Getting Arc second out of lane looks to be very important. Inori spent all his time camping flares, trying to get Big ol' Ron ahead. Didn't have an effect on the game basically at all. Inori went from 2-0 to 0-2. Big ol' Ron went from 0-0-2 to 0-3-2.
Getting ganked by the Janna.
Oh, it didn't go on a body drop, did not land the Chum the Waters. Gets some good damage down, but by the way, again, you can't target the support of a Kalista player. Easy escape.
Really kind of disheartening there, too. It looked like Inori, the assassin, the Blade of the Ruined King, Fizz jungle. You think he'd be able to kill the support.
I mean, he's going to win the one-on-one.
Yes, he win the one-on-one.
But, yeah, pretty hard to go through with the Kalista ult there, so unfortunate overall. Fate's Call, making sure that was in fact the name. It is. Big ol' Ron, defensive sapling ward. But overall, it's just TSM Darkness getting strangled out of this game. NME eSports looking at a 7-1 record after this one. Their closest competition both sitting at 5 wins. Have nearly secured themselves a first round bye, or not first round, sorry, a first seed. They've nearly got it secured with a win here. There's no buys in the Challenger playoffs.
Yeah. Everybody has to play that first round. Baron chunked out here. NME looking for this to help them close the game out. We talked about how 35 minutes is the fastest game time that we've seen in Challenger this season.
25?
25, yeah. Did I say 35? I meant 25.
It's okay. Know what you meant. Inori, though, looking for the 2-on-1 against Flares. The fear comes in. They do get the kill, but the re-engage by NME eSports. Do they want it? Indivisible misses the flash engage. And by the way, Inox knocked down Inori at the end of all that, so it's a 4-on-4 all the same. Otter wants to play aggressively. Can't go in too hard. Notice wave clear defensively. Arc second still unable to get on the board. Hexdrinker, Blade of the Ruined King. Not the build you want to see from Zed this late into the game. Brutalizer's there as well, but just no farm, no kills or assists.
They're immediately pressing exactly where they needed to press to. They don't need to go down mid lane. There's super minions there for them. So NME decide time to push top. Inox gets a pick. They don't continue to push it though. Instead, back, buy, and then go for the throat at that point.
And I think there's going to be a lot of kills coming in very short order for NME eSports. Quickly do your bookkeeping. Take down the red buff. Give it to Otter, hopefully. And that's the case. Auto attack E. Auto attack, down it goes. Quicksilver Sash in just in case he does get caught up by Zed or Annie, but shouldn't be a big concern for Otter overall. 2-0-4. The game's not really about him. He's the beneficiary of kills, but
just checking.
Well, there's no way it's down right now. They have actually the rough timer. Inori will grab himself a red buff. I mean, his ability to deal good damage to the backline is there. He's got Ruin King and Devour. He's got a red buff. Inori can wreak havoc, but just the team is very far behind. 9k gold down.
What is he doing? You can't even...
Flair's built all army, to be fair, and he's going Shiv just to do more burst.
4 levels up, though.
Yeah, I don't think Inori's going to win.
What?
Now he's overstaying. This is going to be really rough. Ease in. Yeah. Knockup's in. Onslaught of Shadows. Honor steals it. Why the heck not? If Inori was going to go ahead and do it much sooner and have his team actually distract the rest of them. But now just trying too hard to make it into the plays. There's the burst from Inox, even through Molten Shield. And now it's bot lane. That's the target. Mid was already exposed. Bot lane's going to be the same. 26 minutes in, and NME eSports now going for the throat pretty early on in this game. A lot of turret kills went in early on. It was 5-4 in turrets for a short time for TSM Darkness, but now it's 5-7. Middle inhibitor is available for the pushing if they want it. Shorter Ace going to be the target now. Big ol' Ron knocked back. Arc second. Gonna maybe go down to auto, but the Rend won't do enough damage. Big ol' Ron forced to run away, but NME eSports still holding a 5-on-4. And mid inhibitor will fall shortly. Minions, but not super minions flooding into the base right now. And it means that NME will back up here. Dragon is on the table if they want number 3 for themselves. And they'll play it a little bit more patiently.
A static Shiv for Flares.
I mean, he's just buying offense at this point.
I was like, what is he buying with that Zeal? It's a static Shiv, okay. I mean...
Doesn't matter.
Hecarim likes items.
He's got a lot of gold.
All items are pretty much good on Hecarim.
And now he's going for either Warmogs or... I think that also builds into...
Righteous Glory.
Yeah. Indivisible, bye. Oh no, I take it back. Inox gonna get jumped back on Pops. Zonia's Indivisible will live, but Flares says no thank you. Gets the kill picked up. Inox, what? He gets out, and Flares now in the 1 versus 3. He's trying to get some damage down. By the way, you're not tanky, so Hecarim dies.
He's pretty tanky still, though. But not tanky enough.
All right, Inori. Slow, speed up. Q lands. Rens for a slow. Dragon 3 goes in.
He's got Playful Trickster now. A flash.
Body Drop didn't have to flash, by the way. It's his own base. That was an unnecessary flash by Body Drop.
He just walked.
Inox still has not died this game.
So I was watching that and I was like, where? Wait, is that his base? Is that the other guy's base? Because then I see Inox coming from the other side. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the right base you're in, Inori. I don't know why you're there, but you're on the other side of the map from your own.
Yeah. Still, the only kills that TSM Darkness have gotten all game are knocking down Flares. They got 2 quick camp kills. Got another one on a split push later on. They got that one for being over-aggressive. But NME eSports really just not giving up anything.
And I mean, we heard Smoothie talk about how Trashy's scary. NME's still scary without him. He just makes them even better.
They are indeed. And it's worth pointing out, TSM Darkness, I feel like they're looking a little bit better as a team.
Yes.
Their early mid-game was fine. They actually out-turret killed NME eSports. They kept the gold within 500 for the first 20-ish minutes, but... Yeah, Inox loses half his health from the first little bit of burst. Flares just takes him down cleanly.
Baton twirling on top of him. Poor Fizz.
Why not? Well, here we go. Inhibitor number 3 now under fire. Otter going to claim that one pretty easily. Janna Shield's help. Blast Whisper in the inventory now, just to make things even easier. And here we go. Inhibitor number 3. Minions coming in. Flares holding the bot side. These are the minions that will spell doom for TSM Darkness. 13,000 gold up. Turret number 1 under fire. Turret number 2 already injured. Inori's still dead. This is going to be the game. 30 minutes. And eSports going 2-0, but first, the dive on in. Otter's QSS already down. Arcsecond tries to get some burst on in. He was 0-3-1, but it's Flares who's mopping up everybody. 3 kills picked up. Big ol' Ron and Inori back inside the base. 4 men still alive for NME eSports, and that will be GG if they don't die to the Fountain Laser. Body Drop did, but you know what? It's okay. It's going to be the NACS. 29-51. NME eSports 2-0 TSM Darkness. 7-1 now in the Challenger Series.
And NME, even without Trashy, still have early game plays off of Shorter Ace, off of their laners, and even though Flares got camped, they were still in the driver's seat for a large portion of that game.
Yeah.
They were basically capitalizing off of a lot of mistakes of face-checking Brush and giving up ward control. They never gave up ward control. They kept having it. And even with a sub, that's very important because subs aren't always on the same page when it comes to what places do we like to ward, where are we going next. So the fact that they have that communication with somebody who's new to the roster is really good to see.
Yeah, so overall, very impressive game by NME eSports. 22-4, the overall kill score. Everyone went deathless except for Flares. Scumbag hacker room player. How dare you die to the 2-on-1 lane you were essentially in there.
He did have the most damage in the game, too.
Take it back. Body drop died as well. He wanted to join the club. He died to the fountain at the very end of the game. It wasn't a kill, just an execution all the same. Inox 6-0-11 on LeBlanc. Arc second, I said, all right, maybe try Zed, maybe try an individual playmaker. But Shorter Ace destroyed that poor fool.
Worst performance that Arc second has had in Challenger.
Oh, by far, yeah. First game with 4 deaths. First game with like a less than 4 KDA practically. But it really held him down. Inox and Shorter Ace, I think, probably the scariest mid lane, or just Inox and whatever jungler he's got. Probably the scariest mid laner in the North American Challenger Series. By drop and Otter, probably the scariest duo lane as well. They beat their counter matchup hard.
Yeah.
And kept the lane pushed in. It was almost just easy for NME eSports to control the mid and bot side of the map. They did so very cleanly.
Yeah, and it was one of those things coming into today. It's like, is this going to be where we see NME kind of slumping? Because they don't have Trashy. They don't have that person who's making a lot of calls on the roster too. Yeah. But now, they still look like a first-place team in that game.
They do indeed. So, grats then to NME eSports, and our final game of the night now is in the books. Let's take a look at the updated Challenger standings. Once again, in first place is NME eSports at 7-1. They have clinched a top 2 finish in the standings now. They own the tiebreaker over TDK, so those guys can't touch them, really.
Yep, and in fourth, we have
TDK and Fusion tied at second, by the way.
Yeah, and in fourth, we have Final 5, and after that is CLG Black in fifth. Earlier, we incorrectly stated that CLG Black was eliminated, but they can still tie Final 5 for 4th place next week. Meanwhile, TSM Darkness is officially out of playoff contention.
They can, however, battle for 5th and have a better seed when they have to re-qualify in the summer split. We'll see if that can happen for TSM Darkness next week.
Yeah, next Wednesday is the final day of the spring regular season. First up, it's NME eSports against Final 5. Then CLG Black takes on TDK with TSM Darkness and Team Fusion finishing up the day.
It's going to be a whole bunch of great matches, but there's more coming for esports, guys. Tomorrow, the European LCS kicks off Week 8 as Gambit Gaming faces off against Meteor Makers. Then Rocket battles the Fnatic overall, and then it's the Dog and Pony Show as the Copenhagen Wolves take on the Unicorns of Love. That all starts at 6 p.m. Central European Time and 10 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. That is an hour later than last week for all the U.S. folks. Now, thanks a lot, Farmers, for making that time a bit better for those guys who like to sleep in. And that's going to be all from us here on the Challenger Desk. We'd like to say thanks again to our guest, Smoothie from TDK. Thanks, man. And on behalf of myself, Zyrene, and the entire live broadcast crew, thanks for watching, and GG. You're not going to say bye? Just
bye.
Nothing? Bye.
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 We'll miss you. Arrivederci. Au revoir. Otter forced a flash out, pulls in Janna for some disengage, but it's a 5v4. Flares knocks in Arc second, 0-3-0. Looking for the 2-on-1 against Flares. The fear comes in. They do get the kill, but the re-engage by NME eSports. Do they want it? Indivisible. But first, the dive on in. Otter's QSS already down. Arc second tries to get some burst on in. He was 0-3-1, but it's Flares